episode of Bariatric Banter podcast.
I love it. Super good.
We're still here.
We're doing it. We haven't quit yet. We haven't got scared by the video.
We've not. I know we're still on video, and I'm not going to lie. Steph watched me do like the most like ratchet 2-second slap it all on makeup job. And then I said, this doesn't match at all. And I wiped it all off.
It's real life, okay?
It's real life, guys.
The palest of the pales.
For those who watch us, like I wiped it all off on I'll wash this. But I was like, this looks terrible. And we have to record a podcast.
You know, but you're getting the genuine, real, authentic us, right? Makeup free, pale as can be. This is what it is.
This is it. You know, trying our best here, guys, to look classy on this podcast. And for those who watch the video, I know a lot of you listen on audio and you're probably like, I have no idea what they're showcasing right now. I'll post a picture on the Instagram of my hat that I wiped all my makeup off on.
You look great.
I looked two-toned. So now I look okay. You look great. I'm loving the ponytail, by the way. Steph's rocking a ponytail.
Getting used to it.
Yeah.
I'm used to, if you don't know me, I used to have very, very, very short hair. And this is the first time in a long time that I've had long hair. So getting used to the no bangs and
it's exciting. I got rid of the bangs as well. It must be like a weight loss thing where I was like, it's okay. Right? We can show my face now.
Yeah. It's definitely a security blanket for me. It always has been. 100%. It was very nerve-wracking to cut them off and have everything exposed and just there. Yeah.
Well, because I always had I still have a round face, but I had that like very swollen, I know we said we'd post pictures. I promise this week we'll actually post like the pictures of my face and Steph's face, but like it was so swollen. Like the biggest change I noticed was in my face first. And I would constantly post like face photos. And my mom was like, it's the same face. You look the same. And I was like, Mom, I'm not looking for the mom answer right now. Like, look at how good my face looks right now.
So different.
But I would not wear ponytails at all because I couldn't look cute. You know, those slicked back ponytails? No, I look like a fat Draco Malfoy. But like people who could like rock these super cute high ponies. And I was like, why do I look like this? Like it was not a good look.
No, it was just like a big bubble.
Oh my God, my ears stuck out. Like thanks Dad for those. But like my ears stuck out, my head, my face, like it was, and I was so obese. I had the rolls that would kind of come at the back of your, and I was like, oh no, like you could see them.
Definitely it's a security blanket for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And I just remember thinking no. And then I don't remember when it was, but I started putting my hair up in ponytails and I went, is this what they're supposed to look like? Like I have a neck. Like what is, I can do this.
Chin.
And I can, like, I don't know what this is, but I can see these things. Yeah, I can see a clavicle. I can see a collarbone.
Because it gives you can see the shape. Like there's a shape now. Like I can see my chin now. I can see my jaw now. I can see.
I have a chin, singular.
Yeah, I don't have to contour anymore because I'm actually getting a little bit of a natural, I
know. It's weird. Like my dimples are back. I had them and they went away when I was really swollen and fat. But like, it was just, listen, it's little things like this that like when you're formerly obese makes your life awesome. And so I was telling Steph, like, rock that ponytail. Looks so good. I'm going to wear a ponytail in that's what I'm going to do next week.
We'll switch in the next one.
That's what I'm doing. But yeah, it's just little things like this that might seem silly, but we have major insecurities. And I tried to work out, but wouldn't put my hair up in a ponytail. I'm not kidding. I'd go like this with my hair down. And I remember my trainer would be like, you want to put your hair up? And I was like, no, the fuck I do. Nope. It does not look attractive.
No, it's the same thing. Like I would go work out I remember having this conversation with my trainer at the time. And I would go to work out in like long pants and like long sleeve shirts. And he would be like, what are you doing? Like, aren't you dying of sweat? Yeah, I am.
Yep.
But that's what you're getting. And I remember I wore a t-shirt to the one session. And I remember I opened the door and he looked at me, but he didn't say anything. And then I brought it up and he was like, oh my gosh. He goes, I'm glad you said something because I wanted to acknowledge it, but I didn't want to put you even more out of your comfort zone. And, but that's how we lived our life.
That's how we live our life, which kind of rolls nicely into in this week's episode 9. Oh my goodness. I should know this, y'all. Episode 9.
Crazy.
We're going to be talking about exercise. So we are going to talk about how we exercise,
Mhm.
what it looks like. We are very different in our path. I am 2 years. Oh my God, I'm 2 years as of the
Exactly.
13th of this month.
Amazing.
Whoa. And Steph is 4 months.
Yep.
Yep. So that's going to look very different. What our exercise goals are. Like, do we have big plans, big goals? Do we have a little bucket list on like why we're doing it? What's the recommendation from the clinic for exercise? And like just in general, what our recommendations are. There'll be a hot take minute where we talk about personal trainers. Shocking. We don't agree in the best way. We're still friends. But that's what we're going to talk about this week, because we do get a lot of questions about,
Yes.
are you following an exercise plan? Do you do HIIT? Do you do CrossFit? Are you training for this? Are you training for that? I openly share all my training on Instagram. So we've had a lot of listeners like, whoa, fill me in. Like, how'd you get started? And it's like, oh, I'm trying.
You're doing
And
awesome.
yeah, and a lot of people follow Steph, and Steph is constantly posting her workouts there. And you'll notice like our workouts are very different from each other, but still follow the fundamental training we've been told to follow. And I'd say, Steph, you and I talk about exercise
Oh my
several
gosh.
times a week with each other,
I was going to say probably every other day,
every other day.
because it's also a learning process, right? And things are different. Like I said to you today, I cannot lift in terms of free weights. I cannot lift right now what I was lifting before surgery.
Yeah.
And it's a learning process post surgery of what
Oh,
works for
yeah.
you, what you want to do, what feels good. So we're messaging each other regularly about, I did
Yeah.
this, I want to do this, I'm trying this, I want to try this
Have
one
you
day.
heard
How do
about
I do
this?
this? Yeah.
I
So
think
it's
I
a
broke an
constant,
arm.
I can't lift my arms.
I
Um,
literally, what did I
it's a
say to you today? I think I had a heart attack. No, I just pulled a muscle.
It's a
Oh,
big learning curve. Exercise
yeah.
post-surgery is very different. Not very different, but it's different than exercise pre-surgery, for sure.
Yeah. I think the world is more open to you post surgery. So that's brand new. There are things that you're going to be able to do that you never could do before. And so that's
Mhm.
also exciting and terrifying. And kind of what we touched on in the beginning of this podcast, you have self-esteem issues, and it's going to take a while for them to go away. I have major self-esteem issues. We'll do a whole
Mhm.
episode about how I still have crazy self-esteem issues, guys. Like, don't look at myself when I pass a mirror, struggling to date because I'm worried what they're going to think when they see me. So it doesn't go away. Now that the world is open to me for exercise, I feel even more like a fucking fraud. Sorry, trying to work on the swearing, but I do, because now I feel like at least when I was obese, that was an excuse to be like, well, she's never done it before.
Right.
Look, she's trying, bless her heart. Now it's
Look at
like,
the effort.
this person doesn't know what they're doing. No, I
Yeah.
don't, because I
I mean,
can't wear a billboard that says I used to be
and you
320 pounds. I'm learning this for the first time.
yeah.
Not that in any way I get judged more than someone who's obese. I think it's insane how much they get judged for going to the gym. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
They're bettering themselves. They're trying harder.
You're putting in the effort.
Who gives a shit what they look like or what they're doing? Like, they're learning. And
Right.
I do not get judged more than them. I'm not saying like poor skinny person, but it's like they just think you're an idiot and that you should know what you're doing. So I almost will avoid things now because I feel like, oh,
Yeah.
I look too much like an idiot. I'm not doing this. I can't. And before it was, I'm too fat. I'm not doing this. So
Right.
it never leaves,
But no, the
but
fear of judgment is still there.
always
And I
there.
think part of it too, as you
Always
said,
there.
the confidence is there. But there's a lot of times where, at least for me, and again, I'm only 4 months out, so curious with you 2 years out, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's the same, but you forget. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
still have a lot of weight to lose, don't get me wrong, but I've
Yeah, I
lost a
saw.
significant chunk. But my brain still goes to my old self first. And I still think of myself in that old body. And even when I'm trying to do new movements and I'm trying new things, instantly before I even try it, I still go, oh, I can't do that
Yeah.
because I couldn't do it before. So there's things that I can kind of do now or that I can do now, but I'm still stuck in that old
Yeah.
view of myself.
It stays. This
Yeah.
literally happened at the gym on Sunday. I go with a neighbor. We were in the free weight section, and she
Yeah.
kind of dipped through two machines to get to another one,
Yeah.
and I hesitated. Like I went up to the two machines and went, ah. And I
Whoa,
kind of
no,
like, I kind of thought as I'm turning, like, I'm
can't do
not gonna fit
this.
through. And then I was like, yeah, you can just walk right
You
through
can, yeah,
this. Like, I
just
looked
ignore.
like an idiot standing there with my arms up, because it just sticks with you, right?
Yeah,
Like, and I'm not trying to. This is
it's
definitely not a
accurate.
humble brag. Like, oh, listen to Hannah say she didn't have to turn to walk through. No, no, no. I walked straight up to it,
Yeah.
then stopped walking and went, and like start turning my body because I'm like, all right, how am I? And then I stopped and went, oh yeah,
I don't have to do this anymore.
Just walk right through this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And it came up at work. We're going to some conferences and stuff. Hey guys, I need your sizing for clothing. And I immediately I got really flushed, and like we were on a call and I was like, oh, I don't want to tell people what size I am. And then I went, oh,
wait.
So I was like, are these like unisex, women's? Like I have options now.
I even work would send out the swag emails like, we're sending you swag.
I never wanted to tell them.
Fill document with your size that everybody can see when they open it.
No, because I used to have to say, I'm going to need an extra large men's, or, you know, because the women's sizing wouldn't go up to what I needed.
Biggest size we have.
No. Or then I tried to pick like a vanity size because I was like, whatever, just pick a large. And then it's like,
never wear
this doesn't fit, won't come down. And now I have to email HR and be like, I know you sent me all this stuff and I'm now going to need to tell you. So I picked a medium this time because I got real scared that if I was like, well, I have small tops, but I was like, don't do it. I don't want to go down this PTSD rabbit hole. So I just said medium women's is great. And that's what the girl messaged me, was like you sure you're good with a medium? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I can order you like a medium and a small. And I was like, nah, it's cool. We'll go medium. I don't want it to be tight. It's totally fine. Thank you so much though. Really love that. That boosted my ego. But
I just emailed you the other day because my work did the email. We got the email that there's new swag coming out. And I was like, oh, okay. And I immediately thought to swag that we got last time that I got from work. And if my work is listening, which they may be, I remember saying, I like spun it that I wanted a bigger size because Devin always steals my sweaters. And
that's a good one.
Even though Devin has lost like 100 pounds in the last year.
Shit. Good for him.
So that's not even true anymore either. But that's how I would try to spin it because I would get a bigger size, right? So I'd be like, that way Devin can wear it too. And so we got really nice zip up jackets from work last year, and I put it on now and it's way too big, and which was awesome. But I remember now thinking, okay, we're going to get swag. I'm going to need to wear it to client sites. I want it to last. So I remember messaging me like, I don't know what size to get. Like,
I remember we had a huge debate about it because I was team, don't order that. Get the small size.
My brain immediately went to, I need a 2XL. Immediately. And that's what I started typing. And then I was like, no, you don't.
You don't.
No, you don't.
No. And we had that debate. You were like, I don't know though, Hannah, like what? And I was like, well, the other thing was you were booking it well in advance of travel too. Like there would at least, I said, when are you going? You said, well, at least a month and a half to 2 months out. Yes. And I said, there will be a significant change in your body in 2 months, especially this soon after surgery. I was like, that's the other thing where there's a catch-22. I would never want you to wear something too small that makes you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. But when I was losing weight, what became a really big hang up for me was putting on the baggy stuff and feeling frumpy and overweight and feeling like, oh, I don't like this feeling either. It's almost like you can't win when you're in between sizing until you, like, especially when you're coming from, I was like a 22, sometimes 24. So like when you're coming from like, I don't know, 12 to 10. Ooh, okay. But when you're coming from 24 to 18, that's a huge difference in that size. And you don't want to be wearing size 22 shirts because it's like, people judge you. I look unkempt. I look messy. I look slovenly.
And you.
Yeah, it's not fair that that's what we associate with overweight people. It's a whole thing that I wish we could change in society, but it's still a thing, right? Where it's like, if you're wearing something sloppy, it's because you're overweight and you're a slob. And I hate that because most plus size clothing is a tent.
Crap. That I was just about to say, it also doesn't help that plus size clothing is ugly and ridiculous and cut like a box, which is a whole nother.
We'll go through a whole podcast on plus size clothing. Don't you worry.
But it's just
it's this weird in between where you don't want to wear things that are skin tight because it makes you feel very self-conscious.
You're not used to it.
But then you don't want the oversized, and work. Okay, I promise we'll get to exercise in a minute. Work makes it a bit challenging because it's like, I have to go to these things. I have to look professional. I just sent a message to the event manager being like, hey, like, what's dress code for this conference I'm going to? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I assume like leggings are probably a no-go. Jeans are a no-go. Like, do I have to go buy khakis? I was like, I don't have dress pants. She's like, you don't have dress pants? And I was like, no. I said, through my weight loss journey, I've thrown a lot of things out and my life revolves around leggings.
You don't want to buy new clothes until you're at
Yes.
a set thing. Like, I haven't bought any new clothes. I'm like, that's a lie. I bought maybe 3 shirts.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't bought any new pants. I haven't really bought new shirts. I'm still wearing my 2X, my 22 pants.
I still have.
I luckily found a pair of 18s in the drawer that were like my one-day pants.
Oh, yay.
So I don't have to look so frumpy, but I haven't bought any new clothes yet because that's the thing, right? You're in this middle phase. You don't know what's comfortable.
Nope.
You don't want to buy things because you don't know where you're going to be in a month. You're trying to look good and proud of your changes. But like I said, you don't want to wear the tight clothes. Like, it's such a weird space to be in.
We should do a whole podcast on
We
body image, buying clothing.
For working out today, Denise, if you're listening, I wore shorts.
Good for you.
Wore shorts every day this week. And now I was at home. I was not in public. However, I wore like tight biker shorts with a tank top.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. The weather's getting nicer at the end of March. We're going to go for a walk at Rim Park. We're not going to tell people when because now they can come find us, but we will commit. Maybe we'll wait till April. It's Canada. But we will both try to go for a walk because I don't wear tank tops because bat wings.
I don't wear them either.
But maybe that should be a goal that we can take a picture of for the podcast, that we will go for a walk in shorts and a tank top.
You're like really pushing that one, eh? Maybe we should do like shorts.
I know. For me,
tank top.
For me, it's the tank top that's the issue. For you, it's the shorts.
It's both for me. It's both.
See, it's the arms, like
I
the
only
flabby.
own like I'm wearing like an undershirt tank top. I don't own like an actual like tank top that you would wear in the summer. And the only pair of shorts I own are these biker shorts that I bought probably 6 months ago as like a goal to wear them as working out. I do not own a pair of like in public shorts.
This will be our goal. You know what? If we can push our audience to do some things that scare them, then, this will be our goal for the summer. Sometime this summer, we're going to try to go for a walk in biker shorts and a tank top and just be like, we're good with it.
Might be a short walk.
Yeah, real like 10 minutes. Speaking of walks, finally talk to people about exercise. The question we get asked all the time, exercise is a big part of this program. So it's really funny because I think I said it on a podcast last week, or maybe it was just in a voice memo to Steph, but exercise is almost more important than the diet part of this program. Almost, not quite, but almost. The diet is important, but they really hammer home the exercise point. It's not even like it's an afterthought. They consistently, okay, well, how much are you working out? How much activity are you doing every week? Are you getting your strength training in? What type of activity are you doing? Okay, I need to, and they want it all.
Are you walking? Are you moving? Are you? Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and like it starts the moment you go home, by the way. Like, they don't expect you to be laying in bed and recovering for weeks. It's like, so, you should be up and moving around your house. And within the end of the week, you should be able to go for a 5 or 10 minute walk. Don't push it too far. Stay in your neighborhood because you might get lightheaded. But your goal is to get up to 30 minutes a day, minimum.
They told me my goal should be, unless you're napping and sleeping, but every half hour to get up and at least, this is like from the day I came home from the hospital.
Yes.
Every half hour, get up and at least do a lap of your main floor.
Do your kitchen.
But I think I was home Saturday. By Monday, I was doing laps outside. Luckily, we had good weather still at the end of October. I was doing outside laps of my driveway.
Yeah.
But built
same
up.
rules. Walk the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's for blood clot reasons. So after you have surgery, if you are at rest, blood clots can form and stick. So if you keep your body circulating, you keep your blood going, it doesn't pool, can't form blood clots. But also because you have to get moving. This is not a surgery where you get to have surgery and then give up on exercise. By I think the second day I was walking outside. Now I didn't go far. It's not the worry is more just that you are going to get lightheaded because you don't have enough in your system. And that makes total sense. So I would go to the mailbox and back. And like, I'm the type of person, Steph's going to be like, oh, big surprise. I'm the type of person where I will just push past what I've been told that I can do. Yeah. Don't listen. Hey, pneumonia. So I definitely was pushing it. And I remember my mom being like, Jesus, stop doing this. But I'd be like, I went for a 20-minute walk today. And like, boy, she lectured me up and down to like, take your time. So I do encourage you to not listen to me and take your time. Because the worst thing you want to do is have an injury or even just have an anxious moment. where you feel very faint and you have to sit down, because that can deter you from ever going out
Oh my
again.
gosh. And
So
you're not
just
putting a lot of fuel in your body. You have to
you're
remember,
not
you're having like 1 ounce
sip
sips of clear liquid. So you
yeah,
don't even have the energy
to
to go
do
like,
this.
no. So
Mm-mm.
it's for safety reasons that we're saying
Go
don't.
slow.
Yeah.
But then by the end of your first month, when you are finally beyond clear liquids and you are getting more protein intake, like they just expect it, let's get
Oh,
going. So 30 minutes minimum a day, they expect you to be walking. Now, they never come right out and say you need to be running or cycling or rollerblading or, I don't know, climbing a tree. You need to walk 30 minutes minimum. And they do stress walk at a brisk pace. Like it's not,
enough
hey,
of your
what's
heart
up?
rate. You need to get your heart rate up.
Yeah,
You
not
shouldn't
to
be huffing
cardio
and
levels.
panting and out of breath, but enough that your heart rate is elevated
Yeah, there's a little sweat beading wherever it beads.
everywhere.
Yeah, upper lip for me. That's what I was trying to showcase. But you should have a little sweat going. You should have a little heart going a little. So, they don't want intense. Or if you want to, good, but they are recommending walk 30 minutes. And then strength training. This was huge.
And
This
this
was
is where
consistently
we were given different guidelines for this one.
very different, because it was like beat over the head with me that I absolutely needed to be in strength training. And I might have a theory on why, but I was beat over the head with strength training, strength training. You need to be doing it 2 times a week, Hannah. Why aren't you doing it? Like, so I started doing Pilates, and I remember her being like, we're going to be very honest with you. Pilates does not count as strength training. And I was like, damn it, I don't
Oh,
want to get a gym membership. Like, I just want to do outdoor walk. But they were very much like, in order to build muscle and to negate how much loose skin you're going to have, you must do weight training. And also, you can't have muscle loss. Having
mhm.
major surgery, not being able to move the way you used to move, not being able to, for the first 6 months, you can't lift heavy things. 3 months, you can't lift heavy things. They say treat it like you had a C-section. You could get a hernia. You could tear something. Like
Mhm.
they don't want you out there week 2, like, deadlifting.
Fully.
And they
Yeah.
said if you're going to lift weights, you will sit for the first 2 months. Like I don't think I started strength training till after the first month. I wasn't cleared, just due to needing this to heal. But anyway, I digress. Strength training was beat over the head for me.
Yeah.
Constantly asked what my strength training routine was, how long was it, what weights were I lifting. They were very big on loose skin with me and muscle training.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was funny because I was told initially in the program, same things, walking first, building up to strength training, no lifting for a while.
Yeah.
And I was told, I don't remember the exact timeline, but I'm pretty sure I was told no lifting weights until minimum 3 months.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 months, not 6. Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
it
pretty
was
sure it's
3.
3.
I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, that sucked. I really wanted to get back to the gym," all this kind of stuff. And then I went for my 1-month post-op with the surgeon.
Yeah.
And I asked her because she was saying everything was looking so good, da da. So I said, "Okay, so just to confirm, like 3 months for weights, right?" And she goes, "No." And I kind of looked at her. I said, "What?" She goes, "You can start today." And I said, "Oh, I was told 3 months." And I said, sitting the whole bit. And she goes, "No."
This program.
She goes, "I do a lot of hernia repair." She goes, "And that's the main concern." She goes, "But
Mhm.
you just listen to your body." So of course she said, "Start light." She goes,
Well,
"Don't be
yeah.
going and grabbing the 20 pounders and just going to town." She said, "Start light." She goes, "You'll feel kind of silly. Do the 2 pounds, do the 5 pounds." But
Yeah.
she said, "By all means, start today." And then she said, "If something starts to hurt, obviously stop." But
Yeah.
yeah, she cleared me at 4 weeks to jump right in. Right in.
Super. Like, I mean, did I start before 3 months? Yes. Is anybody surprised that Hannah didn't follow
No,
the rules?
no,
Absolutely not. Hi, buddy.
no.
But I was told like you have to sit to lift weights at the beginning. You have to wait 3 months. You are at a high risk for hernias. You're just like, don't risk it. You are at a high risk. So it is funny that like who you saw was like, who cares? You're good. My doctor was like,
Just go. She
absolutely
goes, "You
not.
feel good?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Then go."
Yeah. Now, I
Okay.
did start lifting weights early, but I was working with a personal trainer. So I wasn't just out there trying to free ball it and hope for the best.
I
So,
just went to town.
but you were fine. You're good.
That's fine.
But strength training is big. My theory, and it's just a theory because whatever, my theory is that I ended up losing like quicker than they expected, which happens. It's not a brag. There are people who lose quicker and then taper off. There are people who lose more but take longer. Like you will all fall into a category. It doesn't mean one is better than the other. Eventually, we all end up at the same place. It's just, oh,
Right.
are you kind of like quick and pass the goalpost or what? So they did say you are losing more than we expected. Like your percentage is past where it should be. I think that they had a very big concern about super loose skin, about this really catching up with me, because I was, oh shit,
Eating
like
fruit.
she's past
Yeah.
where she's supposed to be. That's a good thing. They were happy about it, but I think that's why for me, every single friggin' call with the nurse and dietitian, every time, oh, you're walking great. Oh, wow, that's far distances. Love the walking. Anyway, strength training. What are you doing for strength training? Sure, guys. Like, and I will admit I was so bad with strength training. Even now, it's something I immensely struggle with. Just talk to Steph about it
We're
this
so opposite in this. I love it.
today, because I was like, Steph, I think I really need to start strength training more. It's really bad that I'm not doing this. Like my loose skin is starting to pile up. But I'm really into cardio. Cardio is my exercise routine. I love it. It's great. I did weights before, and I don't know if it's that's all I could do when I was obese was strength training, and mass moves mass. And I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying that, but it's easier. It was easier for me to lift heavier weights before surgery. Like I could bench press and deadlift like a beast. Like I'm talking like 125 pound. Yeah, at one point I have a photo of me at the personal trainer way before surgery, and I'm not even kidding. Like I'm curling 80-pound dumbbells, and I was like, this is great. Like we have a leg press video where I'm at like 3 something. Mass moves mass. So post surgery, there's like a video of me with like a 5-pound weight shaking, like I'm gonna pass out. Like it's hard. I just did like lat pull downs and I did some chest flies on Sunday, and I literally thought my arm was gonna fall off. And I did. I said to Steph this morning, like, I thought I was having a heart attack. It turns out I pulled a muscle. Yeah. I was lifting 20 pounds. But I sat at the machine. I put it on 60 and I stood up and I couldn't move it. And I was like, this is really embarrassing. And I had to put it back.
I go to do a workout and I go to grab like the weights I would normally grab. Yeah. And I can't even get one rep in. Like today, I love how opposite we are, because you're so cardio loving and I'm so weights loving, and we're so like opposite on this. It's great.
I know, it's really funny.
It makes for great conversations. Well, like today, one of the exercises in my workout routine today was triceps, and we were doing tricep kickbacks.
Oh,
and
God,
I had to grab the 2-pounders, and I was so like, what the hell? Because I went to grab my 8s and my 10s, and I was like, okay, this is not
like everything shakes and you're like,
I couldn't even get one rep in.
No.
And I just sat there and I was like, man, like it's humbling.
Oh, super humbling.
My heaviest weights, like I was telling Hannah, my heaviest weights right now that I use on a regular basis, I have like 2s, 8s, 10s, 12s, and 15s. And then I have a couple kettlebells, but those are my dumbbells. And then I have a 35 and a 30 downstairs. I don't even touch my 30 and 35 right now.
That used to be light. Like 25 was light.
My 15 is now my heavy. So when she says, or when they say in any of my body workouts, when they say get the heavy dumbbells, I get the 15s.
But it's not like, it's the same for me.
And I have this moment of just like defeat, and I know
anger.
Yeah. And I know that it's going to take time, and I know it's going to get back up there. I know I'm only eating 700 calories.
It might not. Like our new bench line might be that 35 is heavy.
Right? But I chuckle when she says, get the heavy dumbbells, and I get my 15s, and I'm like, okay.
Whatever builds muscle. 100%. Doesn't matter what that weight looks like, but.
Right. As long as, and I feel it, I know it's working, I know it's doing its job, and that's what's important.
I feel it.
But it's a humbling experience.
So protect yourselves and be careful for all of you that might be really into weightlifting and heavy weights.
Ego at the door.
You got to go, you got to remember, like, you're on a 2-week liquid diet. Then you're on at least a month of like a liquid low eating. Like you will have at least 2 months before you can get back to lifting. So 2 months off, as someone who just had to go through 2 months off, has completely reset me.
Oh my gosh.
I can't, and I know muscle memory is a thing and it will kick in for me. I'll get into this in a minute, but just remember you will have 2 months off where your muscles will kind of stop working. Do not go back to your regular training routine. I went to Body Pump. And I was like, I was a body pump queen. Like I was stacking them weights and squatting. Oh my God. At one point, I just used the bar because I was like, I think I'm about to die.
You have to give yourself grace.
Like any of the things where they're holding weights, I was like, I'm out. There was a lunge track where I was like, I just stood there with my hands on my hips. He's like, come on, Hannah. And I was like, don't say my name,
Nope.
Justin.
We're good.
Justin at Good Life, do not say my name. I'm embarrassed enough. By the way, if you live in Kitchener, Justin, the Good Life trainer, is like the best Good Life trainer.
Love it.
Love that man. But no, it was so humbling to be back at Body Pump, and I couldn't move for days after. Couldn't sit on the toilet. Like couldn't move my legs up and down.
My first workout afterwards, I had to go pee, and I had to hold on to the bathroom counter beside
brace the wall. Yeah,
I had to hold on to the counter and the bathtub, and like brace as much as I could because it was so painful. But you just have to give yourself grace, and what matters is that you're putting in the effort and you're showing up.
Exactly.
And you just have to know it's not going to look the same. I keep reminding
myself, that's okay.
Right? It's only 4 months out. I've only been back at it for 2 months. I'm only eating
You're already crushing
calories a day.
BT dubs. Like if you don't follow Steph and I on Instagram, I recommend it. We work out completely differently, but like crushing it, literal crushing it. So I would follow us if you want to just see what it's like, because it's very raw and real, but it's going to be different. I think the other big thing is you're different. So this is where we'll get into exercise routines. Like why are we exercising? Do we have goals? And what does a normal day look like for us? And this is where it's really exciting and challenging. You no longer have to work out like the old you. A, you don't have to do it in secret. B, you don't have to just do what your body can only, like now your body can do so much more. And it can feel overwhelming at times and a little scary on like, I don't even know where to start. Start with walking. That is always my advice. If anybody wanted to know like, well, Hannah, what was your workout routine like? I had surgery in March. I walked until June. Literally would walk between 5 and 10K. So during the week, I would try to walk 5K 3 times a day. Just get out, put my little headphones on. There was like a whole stretch in the summer where I did it every day because just felt like it. My work schedule aligned. But at least 3 times a week minimum, I would try to do 5K. Had my little route, put my little music on, like really loved being out in the sun, kind of challenged myself to walk quicker here and there. Yeah. And then on the weekends, I would do a 10K. So either Saturday or Sunday, I went to a different trail, Rim Park. And I just did like a huge 10K. And I was like, this is dope as hell. I lost majority and bulk of my weight walking. I wasn't going to Body Pump a ton. I wasn't doing spin classes. I was not a runner. I wasn't going to HIIT classes or lifting weights. Don't tell the bariatric clinic. I was doing Pilates and walking. And I will say Pilates was great, like mental and relaxing. I would attribute my weight loss to walking, not Pilates, just so you guys know. But I just recommend walk. That's what they recommend.
Underrated, guys.
That's their number one. They didn't tell me to do anything else but walking. So if anything, just start walking. And don't start at 5K. Don't be like, Hannah walked 5K 5 days a week. I need to. No, you don't. Start small. Like I did not just wake up and go, it's a 5K day. Let's go. Today. No, I started doing like 2K. What's 2K feel like? I'm feeling pretty good. I could probably keep going. All right, what's 2.5K? Like work yourself up because your body's never done this before. So work yourself up and see how you feel. But I cannot stress walking enough, especially in the spring and summer. Get a great audiobook. I found audiobooks better than music because I would then get really hooked into it, close my eyes and be like,
I would have special podcasts that I would save just for my lunchtime walks. And I could only listen to them on my
walks. It was My Favorite Murder. Love those girls so much. Oh my God, if they listen to
mine are all murder podcasts.
Hello, murderinos. I love My Favorite Murder. Or How Did This Get Made, which is like the funniest, best podcast in the entire world. Or I'd get an audiobook and that would be like the thing. Music's great too. It's just find your groove.
Whatever works for you.
For me, it's that. Okay, so I said I walked till June. Now we can talk about what my exercise looks like now. I should say, sorry. I walked for a year until June of 2024. So I didn't just walk a couple of months and then switch to what I'm about to tell you guys. Like I was in the program for a year. After a year of weight loss and walking and feeling great, I just felt like I needed something more on my walks. Every now and then I'd kind of jog a little. And I'm like, I kind of like this. Okay, maybe I want to try running. So in June of 2024, I decided I was just going to go like full ham into cardio. I was going to be a runner. Also, don't recommend doing what I did. I had a teacher once say, you don't wake up one day and say you want to write a book. I was like, why not? So I woke up one day and said, I'm going to be a runner with little to no training. I put on a pair of shoes that I now learned are not running shoes.
Oh my gosh.
And I just kind of went out and said, I'm going to try to run. So I started in June training to be a runner with a goal of a 5K.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this paints Hannah in a very hilarious picture.
I
With a
love
goal
it.
of a 5K for September, end of September, like basically beginning of October. But I was like really convinced I could do this. Running is no joke. Running is humbling as all hell. So I could barely run 30 seconds. And this is after a full year of weight loss and walking my butt off. Barely
Running's a whole
run.
different ballgame.
Could barely run. So from June till September, I basically just tried to run for a minute straight. Like I just kept adding 30-second intervals till I got to being able to run for 2 minutes without being dead. And then I'd walk for a minute 30. And that's all I did. Jeff Galloway method. I love it. I recommend it. But I followed his method of run, walk, run, walk, run, walk. And I competed in my first 5K at the end of September. I did it in 35 minutes, which is a really good time for my first ever 5K. I ran, walk, ran, walk, ran, walk. So I would run for 2 minutes with an interval timer, and then I'd walk for 45 seconds, and then I'd run for 2 and then walk. Got really hooked on running and decided I'm going to run a half marathon in October. So now I'm training for a 10K at the end of this month. I'm running the Around the Bay 10K.
Amazing.
But then I got pneumonia in December, and I've been off training all of December, all of January, and most of February because I got pneumonia. I wasn't cleared from pneumonia till the end of January. Then they thought I might have had a heart issue from pneumonia. So I had to get a ton of heart testing done. Turns out my heart's fine. I have no lingering side effects, but they just weren't sure. So I couldn't run for February. So now I'm back training, and I have 4 weeks to train for a 10K.
You got this.
I'm going to die. But my training schedule...
It's not a race. You don't have
it's
to
not.
You don't have to set a new PR.
Correct.
You just want to finish.
I just run, and I run for me. So there's been a lot of hate that I've gotten. Judgment. My mom, if she's listening to this, is going to lose her shit on me this weekend. There's been a lot of judgment that I should not be running. It's not fair because my brothers who are not overweight, they run, and they've never gotten this before. But my family has chosen to lecture me that I should not be running. Running's going to kill me. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to die. Heart disease does run in my family, but I've been through cardiac testing twice now before surgery because we were worried because I had high blood pressure. And then literally last month because they thought maybe pneumonia was something wrong because pneumonia can cause heart disease. So they said, we need to test and just see that, it's your lungs that are sore, not your heart. And I've been cleared. My cardiologist has cleared me. She has said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your heart's in perfect, blah, blah, blah. My family has said, running will kill you. You shouldn't be running. You should just be walking. Why do you need to do this? This is absurd. You shouldn't be at the gym every day. And so I've gotten a lot of shit for this. I love running. It makes me...
It brings you joy.
I hate it. I hate it and I love it. And I get out there, and when I'm running, you've never seen a bigger smile on my fucking face. Like, I'm exhausted. I don't want to push another kilometer. My legs hurt. And then I'll just be out there like,
I got this.
I'm running because I was never able to do this. I never got to do this. I was obese my whole life. And I love it. So when I go to races, I don't go to race. I'm not out there. I told my mom, who do you think I am? Like, trying to set a marathon record? Do you think I'm trying to, set a pace for Boston? I just go for me. I go to jog.
Just want to do it.
And there's nothing wrong with exercising every day. Okay? Nothing. I'm not at the gym 6 hours a day. No. I go for me. So my exercise routine 2 years post-op is this. I run 3 days a week, usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday, Sundays. One is a speed drill. One is an easy run. One is a long run. So a speed drill is usually 3 kilometers. It involves can you get your pace up quicker? Okay. Can you go from walking to jogging to running to back to walking? It's all about trying to get my pace quicker. Can you, hill sprints, which kill me. Yes. The easy run is, hey, here's a 6K, go at your own pace, do whatever you want to do. And then the long run is usually over 10 kilometers because if you go over, it makes the 10K easier in the long run. So I'm not there yet. I'm pacing. So my long run this weekend will be 8 kilometers, but eventually I'll be doing 14K in preparation of the 10. But I do it at my own pace. So it's not, hey, here's Hannah breakneck speeding it at 5-minute miles for, 16 kilometers. Run, walk, run, walk, run, walk, run, walk.
That's awesome.
Take your pace, set your time. I have successfully done the 10K in 1 hour, 16 minutes run walking outside for my test lap. So,
Amazing.
and I
Amazing.
felt great, not dying, not having a heart attack. In between the 3 days that I run, I am trying to do 2 days of strength training. It's not HIIT classes. It's not CrossFit. It's not something that's killing me. It's going to the gym. And for one day, I'm doing upper body. So I'm doing lat pull downs. I'm doing some biceps. I'm working on the upper muscles because as you run, these get tense and tense up and you get stitches and they hurt. So I'm working on loosening these for running. And then the other day I do legs. So I'm working on building muscle and making these stronger so I don't get an injury so that I can go further for longer. Those are my 2 strength training days. Outside of that, I walk my dog. So him and I go for 3 walks a day, 1 long walk and 2 short walks. And he is owed those. So I will always do them with him. Now, I don't do crazy long walks on run days, but on other days, yeah, why not? We're going to go for our walks because walking's great. That is my exercise routine 2 years post-op. I don't see it changing much with the exception of after my 10K, I roll into half marathon training. I don't think I'll ever do a marathon. I have no desire to do that. But I really want to do a half marathon. But running brings me stupid, crazy joy. I don't know why at all, but I
Because it's
stupidly
freeing
fucking
and
love
it's
it.
something when you're obese you never ever
No,
think you can do. You
no,
always want to. Like I remember there's so many days in my life, I would love to run. I would love to be a runner. I would love to say, I'm just gonna go for a run.
it's so
But
fun.
there was no way in hell that was ever
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like even a walk alone was enough of a huff and a puff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
I got winded going to the garbage,
yeah.
which is
So
beside my
it's
unit.
that joy of doing something that you never thought was possible. And not only doing it, but
Yeah.
succeeding at it and getting better at it and right, hitting those
And that's what
goals.
someone said. My aunt, who I really hope isn't listening to this, but I think she said something to my mom along the lines of like, "Is she okay?" And my mom was like, "Yeah, she's fine." No, no, like, is she mentally okay? Like, she's at the gym every day. I see her posts on Instagram. Like, is she okay?
Self-care,
Is
mental
she,
health.
And I was like, so where was all the concern when I was 320 pounds? Where were you guys,
Nobody said a
talking
word.
about, is Hannah going to die and have a heart attack while she's sitting around doing literally nothing? And now that I'm 2 years post-op, it's not even like I'm a month out pushing myself. Now
Now
that
the
I'm 2
concern
years post-op with a super healthy relationship to exercise now, where I'm going to say again, I'm only at the gym for an hour. My runs are typically an hour and a half. I'm not spending 5 to 6 hours a day exercising.
yeah.
I'm not working out 3 times a day, like once a day, once a
But
day. And I take,
now that you're putting yourself first as a priority, enjoying your life
yeah,
and taking care of
now it's a
yourself,
problem.
doing self-care, doing things for your mental health, now the
Now
concern.
it's an addiction. Now she's obsessed
Yeah.
with it. So
Now it's too
I have a
much.
therapist and I said to my therapist, is this bad? Like, is my love of running, like, she was like, oh my God, this is not addicting. And
Mm.
she was like, no, this is normal. And so it made me angry because most people I know go to the gym or work out once a day.
Yeah.
It's very normal. My brothers are all like, my brother out west is running a 10K and a half marathon. He does the like climb the stairs stuff. And well, he's a firefighter. Okay, heart disease runs in the family. Do you think it skips him because he's a
Are you
firefighter?
kidding?
Like,
Oh,
has
it
he
doesn't
had a
care.
cardiac workup? Has he done blood work recently? Like, I
It
had a
doesn't
literal cardiologist say,
you're fine.
you are good to run. And yet
Then you
it's
run.
not enough.
Then you run.
So I run because mentally it makes me feel so happy and so good. And no one's out on that run with me. I'm not running 5-minute miles. My pace now post pneumonia is like 9 minutes, 9-minute kilometers. Like I'm going slow because I'm
Yeah.
way out of shape for having 2.5 months off. My ultimate goal is to get back to 7-minute kilometers. Like even my goal speed, normal. That's called average. That's a jog. So it'd be different if I was maybe doing this 8 hours a day and I was trying to set a 3-minute
Oh, for
kilometer
sure.
and people were like,
For
Hannah, we're
every
worried
spare
about
minute
you.
of your day, that's all you were doing, then there would be a red
Yeah.
flag. Yeah.
So anyway, so thank you for joining my TED Talk. That's my exercise routine. And Steph, I would love to hear yours
It is
being 4 months post-op.
it is way simpler.
It's okay. You're 4 months
Right?
post-op, right? Remember, mine was super simple. It was
Oh my gosh.
walking
Yeah.
for a year.
So, yes, it was walking. So, pre-surgery, so oh my gosh, past 2 years maybe,
Okay.
year and a half, I have been doing what was formerly called Beachbody, now it's called Body.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, mix of strength and cardio, Pilates, yoga, the whole shebang, bar, you name it, tried it. So it was a mix of that. And then when the weather's nice, I started incorporating lunchtime walks along with that. So it was either the gym in the morning or the body workouts at home at some point throughout the day.
Okay.
And then lunchtime walks. That was 5 days a week, sometimes 6, usually 5 days a week. And as I said, it would rotate from most of the programs or workouts I did were strength training mixed in with cardio.
Yep.
Or you'd have like a push day, a pull day, a leg day, and a cardio day. And then a mixed met day. And then you'd have your 2 rest days where you could either rest or you could just do whatever you wanted. I'm really excited to get the lunchtime walks back in now that the weather is good. But then surgery hit. During OptiFast, during the 2-week shakes, I just did walks. I just didn't feel like doing my workouts. So I did walks for the 2 weeks. And then post-surgery, it was the walks. Like we talked about, started small, laps of the driveway, built those laps up, and then started going to the end of the street, to the school, downtown. We live in a small town. And started bumping it out. Yep. Until I got back to my hour-long walks. Then I went for that 1-month follow-up with the surgeon, and she basically was like, dude, just lift weights if you want to.
Love it.
Which was amazing because I really missed it. I am the opposite of Hannah. I hate cardio. I hate it.
No, I get it. I used to hate it too.
Hannah, I would love to run. It is a goal that I want to get to as I lose more weight and my joints can handle it. And
exactly.
I want to get there. I am not anywhere near there yet because I don't like cardio.
Give it time.
So,
give it a year and a half.
Right?
It just kicks in at one point.
So after that 4-week checkup, then I went back into weights and I started super I looked for programs that were a mix of strength training, cardio, and body weight. Or like resistance bands were a big thing I used at the beginning instead of dumbbells and weights. I used a lot of resistance bands. They're phenomenal for that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just looked at programs that incorporated that and I just made modifications. That was a big thing for me is don't be afraid to modify. It doesn't mean you're any worse. It doesn't mean the people who are doing the full out advanced moves are better. Just modify. And then I went into weights. So now I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still doing my body workouts. I'm doing programs that are very similar, that are strength mixed with cardio, but they usually have at least 1 or 2 cardio days built in. And then, as I said, now that the weather's getting nicer, back to my hour-long lunchtime walks as well to get the cardio in even more. But my workouts are probably between half an hour and 45 minutes a day.
Wow.
And I still do about 5 days a week.
That's awesome.
And 5 days is my goal, sometimes 6.
And it's being flexible, like you said.
Yeah. If you need to take a rest day, take a rest day.
Yes.
Oh
my God, yes.
And don't be, like I said, don't be afraid to go the smaller weights. I'm definitely using lighter weights than I was before. But I highly recommend resistance bands for anybody who is wants to start with strength training and hasn't, or if you've had the surgery and you're looking for a way to work your way into it, get a set of resistance bands. They are also underrated and you can do so many. Like I'll be on a call for work at my desk. And if I don't have to be on camera, I'll do resistance band work while I'm sitting at my desk. Why not? Right?
Why not?
I also got a walking pad. So there's lots of little things you could do. But it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's just take your time,
do
small increments. Good. You're not going to set out and do what everybody does. I think my biggest advice, Steph's heard me rant about this a little, but it's not the personal trainer thing. We'll cover that in another podcast. Personal trainers, worth the money or not. It's that, again, we always kind of recommend watch who you follow. But there's a lot of people that had bariatric surgery that we've both kind of said they're not doing anything. I think when you're starting out, start slow. There's no rule being held over your head. Get a walking pad. They're amazing. Put a walking pad under your desk and walk during meetings. Like just add up your steps. It's awesome.
Or in the evening while you're watching TV instead of sitting on the couch.
Yes.
The walking pad, or pull out the resistance bands while you're sitting there watching TV.
Yeah. Playing video games.
You can do
so much cool stuff you can do. Take your time. You will find your niche eventually. So I did not find running till a year and a bit in. I did not just wake up after bariatric surgery and be like, well, I'm a runner now.
Never know.
You'll find your thing after. Maybe it's swimming, maybe it's spinning,
Oh, I'm doing
maybe it's
aquafit too. I forgot.
aquafit,
I'm doing
kickboxing,
aquafit with
but
the
like
seniors, and I
the,
love it.
the coolest thing is the world is your oyster, guys. You can actually do like you can rock climb now, like just things that like I rode a horse for the first time and then was like, maybe I'll get really into this. Like it's just cool to finally have the door open where like weight is no longer an issue. It's not holding me back from doing what I want to do. Maybe I'll join a soccer league. Maybe I want to start playing baseball again. You have options, but just take your time, try things, see what works. But I cannot stress enough that you need to exercise. I'm not sure why some people give it up after bariatric surgery, but it's like a non-negotiable. You do need to do something every day. Even if it's as small as a 30-minute walk, you have to be consistent and you need to exercise. Take rest days. I take time off to go home. I take time off for vacations. There are definitely days where if I'm not feeling it, I'm not pushing my body. Watch the slippery slopes because I've been off for 2 months. Obviously, pneumonia has done something to my body as well. But just being benched for 2 months has completely set me back to the beginning of running. Like I'm barely able to do 2 minutes now. I have to rebuild myself up. So slippery slopes, you build momentum, build your plan. But if you stop doing it, it's almost like you have to restart. And are you really going to restart?
It's hard to restart. Just do what you feel comfortable with. Do what makes you happy. Sometimes you got to do the hard things. I hate cardio day. When I look at my app at what the workout is saying, and it says cardio day, I literally am like, I don't want to do it. And I hate it, but I feel so much better when I'm done. It's for my body, for my mental health.
Yeah.
My mood is so much better when I work out. And like I think I said on another episode too, I did a boot camp with a trainer who always said to us, your body recognizes movement, not exercise.
Yeah.
Well, just move your body. When I was at my retreat this weekend, the one lady, she's a registered massage therapist, and she kept saying all weekend, motion is lotion, motion is lotion.
She's not wrong. That makes sense.
Because we were doing yoga and everybody was at a different level. And the instructor said, just do what your body can do and what feels good and what is in your comfort zone. But just move. Motion is lotion. Just get it going. Start small. Don't set yourself up to fail, but just get up and do something.
Consistency, though. Steph and I have said this often to each other. It's not about motivation. So if you're waiting to wake up after surgery and feel so motivated to just work out every day, it's never going to come. You have to be disciplined. It's discipline that gets you up and gets you working out every day. But she's nailed it. You do not feel as bad after. You feel really good after because you're no longer working out with 300 extra pounds. No. That is like really taxing on the body, requires a very long recovery period. Like you are lighter, fitter. Your joints don't hurt. Your legs don't hurt. You feel good after working out, but it's consistency. So make no mistake. I don't wake up full of sunshine and motivation every day to run 3 days a week and to push for this 10K and to like even the day of the 10K, I'm probably going to be like, oh my God, I don't want to do this whole thing.
Change my mind.
It's discipline though, because I know I'm going to feel really, really good and accomplished when I finish. I know that I'm accomplishing something I never thought I could do in my life. And so that's what someone said to me. Wow, I really like following your running journey. Like you're so disciplined. And I was like, thank you. That is a compliment. Thank you so much. Like I try to stick to my plan. I have the plan laid out. And before pneumonia, I didn't miss. I was the 3 days a week running, the 2 days a week strength training, like didn't miss, was there, even though I didn't want to some days, dragged myself out that house kicking and screaming. So it's, you don't just magically fall in love with this stuff, but when you make it part of your life, it does become a little easier. Like it
becomes part of your routine and your habit. And
the dragging is not as much.
Yeah, it's the new norm. And I always tell people it's the first 5 minutes that's the hardest. If you can get over the first 5 minutes, you're fine. And I've had people say, if you get into that 5 minutes and you still can't do it, then okay, that's cool. Maybe today's not your day, but 98% of the time, once you get through that first 5 minutes, you're into it, you're in the groove, you're feeling good, you can make it through the rest.
Yeah. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like if you're feeling the groove, if you're feeling it, go with it. And there is a saying I found like early on in my journey when I was just walking, but I don't know, came up on Instagram. but it was never, ever, ever let your mood dictate your movement. So you can't make a decision until you get moving, because like your mood and your thoughts are always going to try to convince you not to do it. So never, ever, ever let your mood dictate your movement. Get out the house, get going. And within 5 minutes, if that, that voice, that nag, if that disappears and you're okay, go for it. And I was very honest in my first year of, like, I would post my walks and I would say, I didn't want to do this. I was in a really bad mood today and exhausted. I started the walk. I was 10 minutes in and I was like, 5K is too much. I'm not going to be able to do 5K today. I'll just do like 20 minutes. This is horrible. Ugh. And then my legs kept moving. My body kept going. The next thing you know, I was at the 3-kilometer mark. And I was like, whoa, okay, guess I'm going to turn around and do go home and finish with 6 kilometers done. So she's right. Move before you make the decision not to do this, because after about 5 to 10 minutes, it gets way easier.
You're golden.
Yeah. And if not, then that's your sign that today is just not your day. And that is okay.
You showed up and you tried, and that's
you
what
did
matters.
More than most people. So yeah, that's our advice. That's our exercise routines. Follow both of us on Instagram. You can see Steph's, very big into the weight. And she's 4 months. So you can see what it's like lifting weights at 4 months and doing weight training and strength training. And she has really cool programs that she follows. So it's kind of cool just to see that. And you always post your Apple Watch, so you can people will be able to see like the calories she burned and her activity level. I post all my running stuff. So if you want to see somebody try to run a 10K with very minimal training, and you want to see what it's like for someone who's never run a day in her life to literally try to figure this all out on the fly, follow me. I also post my watch and my stats, and I'm pretty on it. We're both pretty honest about our exercise and our workout, when it sucks, when it's good,
we'll tell you
what we like, what we don't like. So follow us on Instagram, and we're more than happy to share our journeys there. But thanks for listening about exercise. Thanks for the good questions about exercise. We hope we answered them all. But keep them coming, because we would love to do this topic again, and maybe even bring on some people that can talk about personal training or training journeys. But we loved chatting to you about exercise. Next week, we're going to talk about the other half of surgery. So we'll finish part 2 of our surgery journey.
Love it. Thanks, guys.
Well, like always, Steph, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Hannah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.